Coming up on this episode of Outlook TV, the San Francisco Coronation.
Toronto Pegasus on Church.
Tien, the trans jeweler. And much, much more. Hello and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Emily Ann Fraser.
And my name is Darren Monette. We'd like to acknowledge and thank the Squamish, Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and surrounding nations for the honor and privilege of filming on the traditional unceded lands.
Outlook TV is the queer magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast.
And up first, we're going to talk with Andre. He's in Toronto talking with Pegasus on Church. It's a gay bar that's been running for 35 years, a long time to party.
Hello everyone, salut tout le monde. Toronto's Church Wesley Village is home to many iconic LGBTQ+ spaces, and Pegasus on Church has been a beloved community hub since 1994. Join me with Christopher for more on the subject.
Pegasus has been in business for 30 years. This is our 30th anniversary this year in 2025, and I've been with Pegasus for 20 years. Well, we try to be a warm and welcoming environment. You know, one of our taglines is, "It's where friends meet," is that environment that encourages people to get to know one another.
The thing that really sparks me about this place is the community that it builds. Really getting to know your regulars. Here you have a lot of time to really form connections with them. It gets to the point where when I see someone walking up the stairs, I know exactly what they're having. I have their beer ready for them on the table before they even sit down.
I really like the atmosphere. It's very laid back. It's very relaxed. It's more attitude free. Everybody's very friendly. So it's a really good place to hang out.
Every month to 6 weeks, we change our wall here at Pegasus, which supports local LGBTQ artists and local artists within the community.
All right, so here at Pegasus tonight, we are having the 30th anniversary of Pegasus. So it's going to be really exciting. Here we have prizes on the hour, every hour.
Let's see what you won. Ooh, that looks like a cozy fireball blanket.
Yeah, we're involved with a lot of local sports organizations in the LGBTQ community. We host nights for them. We host fundraising events for them.
I really do enjoy our trivia nights here. Our manager, Simon, crafts those trivia events himself. So the questions range from very difficult to nice and easy, so you feel like you actually know some things.
I would say that my favorite thing about performing here at Pegasus is that our audience is so diverse. And by that I mean we have so many different people who show up. One of my favorite groups is the rugby folks, but we also have performers who enjoy musical theater.
The most memorable moment that I have of Pegasus history is when I took over. It was especially enjoyable for me when I got a chance to put my own stamp and do things a little different in a way that I could see the community changing and growing, adding more events, more theme nights.
I've been coming here for probably 20 to 25 years. Not quite 30, but maybe 20 to 25 years. I would describe the Pegasus vibe as being extremely welcoming. The bartenders are fantastic. The crowd is great, and the music is great, and also there's room for everybody.
Over the years, the LGBTQ community has certainly changed. It is no longer just a space for the LGBTQ community, but it's a space for all, for a safe space within the City of Toronto.
Thank you for being with us. This is Andre Tardif at Pegasus on Church in Toronto for Outlook TV.
And coming up next, I catch up with an author by the name of Carol Delinko and her launch with her book, A Woman's Guide to World Travel. Check it out. Hello, viewers. Well, she has sailed the 7 seas and traveled to nearly 100 countries. We catch up with Carol Eve Delinko and her new book, A Woman's Guide to World Travel.
I am actually not the first woman traveler. How many of you have traveled? Women? Yeah, exactly. However, the very first woman traveler who has written was actually a woman, a nun called Etheria in the 4th century AD. And she traveled from Spain to Jerusalem to visit all of the holy sites. It's actually a comprehensive travel guide and memoir for women traveling the world and ensuring that they're safe and have the confidence and wherewithal to go anywhere on their own. What I've done in 40 years is put all of that sort of information into a book. From the time I was 18 years old, I was traveling. So for the last 4 decades, I have traveled the world, and that shaped every aspect of my life, from the food I like to the music I listen to the interest in geography and history and politics.
What's one bit of advice you would give to me as a first-time traveler before I left on my journey?
Think about what you want to do so that you can put some meaning and purpose behind your journey. You've really got to plan in advance so that if you're just going to a beach vacation, you might want to look at the weather, for instance, and make sure that you're not heading into a tornado or into the low season of a country. My room had been broken into, my camera had been stolen, and I was right across the street from a police station, so your location doesn't always guarantee safety.
Are there any places that aren't so safe to travel to? And can you tell us why?
Well, I mean, top of the list, let's say Afghanistan. I mean, anywhere where you've got groups like the Taliban taking control of a woman's voice in public, you definitely don't want to go there. I think the best thing to do is do some research. The Canadian websites, the government websites, have lists and warnings about where you can go. It's constantly changing all over the world. So again, this is all part of your research. And he took me to the edge of the Sahara, and I was lucky enough to be able to see a camel train come in that had been going for 2 weeks. In the middle of the Sahara, there's actually a salt mine, and it takes 2 weeks to get there, and then they cut massive slabs of salt, put them on the sides of the camels. Oh gosh, you know, I've been to so many places, it's really hard to pinpoint, but I have traveled back and forth to Thailand over a dozen times. I really love Southeast Asia. I love the cuisine. I love Europe for the shopping. I love Africa for the music and the culture and the dance and the animals. Every place has its own heartbeat. So I think wherever you go, you're going to get something wonderful out of it. My next journey, I hope, is going to be to Indonesia or Colombia or Vietnam. It's online. In Canada, you can find it on indigo.com, and in Indigo bookstores. You can find it on Amazon, and pretty much any local bookstore, you can ask for it. And of course, you can go onto my website, which is womansguidetoworldtravel.com, and order the book there as well.
Well, there you have it, the perfect companion to world travel. Go get yourself a copy today. My name's Emily Ann Fraser. This was Outlook TV, Vancouver.
Okay, now it's time to take a wee break.
How far are you traveling? Do you have your book?
Just a wee break. Just a little bit. A little. Tiny. Wee.
Hello, I am the reigning Empress of San Francisco, Linda Summers, and you are watching Outlook TV right now.
Welcome back from your wee break. And fancy gets fancy in San Francisco at the OG Coronation.
That's right. The original Coronation, 60 years.
It's coronation time in San Francisco. The Imperial Court of San Francisco is electing monarchs for their 60th reign. Let's see who's going to take over the reins this year.
I think just raising awareness for those who are in recovery, especially those in their 20s. I think it was very important for me to show that we can be part of the nightlife scene, that we can achieve great things. It doesn't always have to be, 8 to 5. You can still add some spiciness into your life and be happy with it, For me, it was glitter and all of the sparkles, right? But I think I did accomplish everything that I intended to do. Part of what you will see in my performance is sort of that resiliency, right? Like it'll start off with a song where I sort of talk about my relationship with my substance abuse and I do something about it, right? And so that's when the second song comes in, and it'll be more about like celebrating life.
Actually, I'm a newbie to the court officially, but I have been doing charity and social justice work in the community for about the last 30 years. So I started doing drag full-time in 2018 as Africa. And in 2020, when we went down for lockdown, I led the Bay Area Queer Nightlife Coalition and tried to get more diversity, equity, and inclusion in the bars. California Gold last year for the Ducal Council, and then this year we were coming up for the 60th anniversary of the Imperial Court, and I said, you know what, I really need to continue to do this service work. I kind of was called to it, so here I am.
Oh, honey.
I hope to achieve a couple of things. I've been volunteering most of my life, or most of my adult life. I started off singing in the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, and we would do outreach to youth at their high schools, and we would tell our stories, and we would let them know that everything's going to be okay and it gets better. I then became a Sister of Perpetual Indulgence and started raising money for other nonprofit organizations and also building community with sisters in San Francisco and around the world. I also volunteer with CCOP, and that's Castro Community on Patrol, and they're basically a neighborhood watch for the Castro, especially in 2025. We don't know what's going to happen, but we definitely need a presence of security in our community.
The reason I chose to run is because it's really near and dear to my heart. I have a big focus on the community, and everything about this organization stands for community. It's about the funds and the friendships that we raise, and that's why I'm here. It's friendship and funship. So my year primarily is focused on creating more access. I'm a healthcare leader as well, and so it's very important to me to create more access, especially for our communities. Using this platform, I would raise funds for my primary benefactor, which is my dream.
That wisdom, charity, and knowledge be the stability of your reign.
Congratulations and welcome to the monarchy. From San Francisco, my name is Empress Sister Fancy Pants for Outlook TV.
Coming up next, Ollie catches up with a trans playwright by the name of Christina Cook.
This one's really interesting because the play is all about postcards.
Unscripted.
Unscripted.
Well, hello, Outlook TV. It's me, Ollie, and I'm here at the Playwright Theater where I just watched Unscripted Postcards. It was so good. And right before, I met with Christina Cook, where she told us all about the process for the creation of this play.
We are at Progress Lab in Vancouver, and we are rehearsing for an upcoming sharing of a work we're doing called Postcards to My Younger Transsexual Self, ages 0 to 119. And it's a work in progress script that I've been developing for the last 3 or 4 years. And we get to work on it all week in this space and bring it towards a future production. When I was going through graduate school, I was studying psychology, and I was also coming out as a trans woman at the same time. As I was going through my courses, I was feeling like I needed to express some of what I was experiencing in a way that I could just get it out on paper. So I came up with this idea of just writing things down on scraps of paper or postcards because I could do it quickly between classes or when I got home when I was really tired. And at the end of that year, I took all of those postcards and I started to combine them into a script.
Yandin, please grab the postcard.
I'm really lucky that my grandmother got a graduate degree, a PhD, and my mom got a degree in the 1970s, a PhD. I feel like these women really paved the way for me to go to post-secondary school. And I had some tapes from my grandmother that were recordings of her talking about her life and her experience of graduate school. And I'm able to talk to my mom and hear about her experiences through her own storytelling. So this is a conversation across generations.
Grandma, thank you for writing.
Happy birthday. There's an idealized version in my head of who I want my grandmother to be. And part of the play is exploring through magic realism and sci-fi what possibilities exist for creating that grandmother who I never really got to have a relationship with as myself, as her granddaughter while she was alive. She didn't know me that way. So this play allows us to have a relationship that never really happened in real life. We really created a team from the very beginning with this piece, right from the very first workshop, where we were inviting local trans and queer actors to get involved in this project and creating opportunities for community members that might not have opportunities otherwise to really work in a space that's focused on supporting trans artists and developing our craft together. I have this perspective that I think we're all trans. I think that we've all gone through gender transitions of different kinds. Puberty is a good example. And I think we've all, at one point or another, fought against the way that people have perceived our own gender. And whether we identify with trans, non-binary, gender diverse, cis, whatever term we choose to, I think there is an element of transness in our experience. And I hope that the play conveys an openness to that and allows people to be curious about their own experience of gender and family and connection and love, and carry that into their night and into their week with connections with other people in the local community.
Please make sure that you continue to support all of trans arts and trans theater here in Vancouver and all around Canada. For Outlook TV, this is Ollie in Vancouver.
Well, it's a perfect time in the show to take a wee break. Darren, how's this for Unscripted?
That's very good, Elaine. Yes. That's great.
Hi, I'm Jessica Paradisco St. Laurent, Olympia 52, Empress of Seattle, and you're watching Outlook TV.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Fancy is in Seattle for their coronation. Let's check it out.
The Devil Wears Lampshade is the theme for Seattle's coronation this year. We are finding out who will take over as the new monarchs to lead Seattle in their efforts to fundraise and community service.
As board president, my job is to actually focus on the business side of the organization. There's the business side, there's the fund side, and we have to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row as far legality goes, making sure that, we raise money for different charities, it goes out to those charities. Our emperor is Gabriel Marche, Rainier 49, and he's done a fantastic job. He's been everywhere, he's represented us quite well.
It's been one of my favorite titles. I've held all the titles in my court now. So I finally got on the top of the ladder. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I have a love relationship with a British singer, Paloma Faith, and she came out with a new album, and I feel like it kind of incorporates everything in my year and what I hope to achieve, which is pretty much not only being there for my community and fighting for it, but also being myself and being in love with myself.
Part of Seattle Court for about 14 years. I was introduced to the court by my previous partner, who was Olympia 4, Dominique St. Laurent. She passed away several years ago, and I was blessed to be able to partner up and fall in love again with another accomplished empress. I have Diva Devereaux is my partner, my husband, and he is a 3-time empress. Well, we have a fabulous group of lower title holders that are very talented and very creative. My biggest fear is performing. That's where they are strong.
I was Olympia 46. I'm choosing to do it again for really one main reason. June of 2019, I got sober. My first reign, I was deep in addiction, and to be present honest out there, I don't remember a lot of my reign. Now that I'm sober, I want to come back and be the empress that not only the community deserves, that the court deserves, but that I deserve.
Please rise and greet your people.
Congratulations to the new monarchs. From Seattle, my name is Empress Sister Fancy Pants for Outlook TV.
Our next story is featuring Darren, and he catches up with Tien, a trans jeweler.
Right. It's a jeweler that's doing great work, turning your old jewelry into sparkly new things.
Hey everybody, it's Darren here for Outlook TV. I'm here in Mount Pleasant talking with Tien, a trans jeweler who's doing some really interesting work, and I'm really interested in that because I'm kind of a jewelry buff. So let's talk to them, find out what's going on in the queer community with business, and maybe we can get our sparkle on.
I have been a silver and goldsmith for 28 years. And now what I focus on is heirloom resetting and wedding rings in my gold work. Heirloom resetting is mainly transforming old pieces into something new.
Nice.
And this includes all sorts of old pieces, primarily in gold. And what's fabulous about this, particularly for queer people and trans people, is some people have old pieces from mom, grandma, whoever that passed on loved ones, and the designs obviously don't fit them anymore, or it's not their style, or somebody was married before in their previous gender expression, and maybe the rings were too femme, and they really want to build it to match their gender expression. Now, this is great little ways to have them get transformed by me. And it could just be any old person with old pieces and that ruby just doesn't work, or, you know, just that design from the 40s doesn't work for me, so let's minimize it or whatever. And I do all sorts of different genres. I am not stuck to a specific design in this area of my work. You and me, we gather, and all I like to say is when you, myself, and the creator meet, that's when the design comes through. I am the facilitator, I'm the technician. I am not necessarily, this is not my design, it's our collaborative design. My ultimate client would actually be somebody who wants a really kick-ass medallion with all sorts of dripping gold and diamonds, like a huge badass, you know, gangster piece even. That would be so fun to build. I build a lot of those for myself and for a couple clients I have built as well. So yeah, those would be so fun. If you want to work with me one-on-one, just contact me, set up a time, we'll meet, we'll look at your pieces, I'll have conversations with you about it, I'll give you sketches on the spot, I'll give you some rough numbers, and then I'll send you a proposal. So it's a nice, proper, formal proposal with breakdown of costs and things like that. Vancouver is a lot more connected now, and there is a lot of different opportunities for me to show up. And whether I'm at a farmer's market or at an art show or a quiz-specific event, people will find me anywhere. And I am present on social media. So I am easy to find. You can just Google Tien the Wizard or Tien Neo Eamas and I will show up. My next show that I am organizing and I do produce is called Queer Spirit Fair. That is on April 26th here at the Beaumont Studios.
Thanks everybody, I'm Darren for Outlook TV, now heading for the taco truck. Thanks for coming out.
Well, that's all the time we have left for this episode of Outlook TV, but as always, we will be back.
Check us out on social media or come and volunteer.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Emily Ann Fraser.
I'm Darren Manette.
Stay fabulous, Canada.